This Sunday, it's the world television premiere of Aladdin and the King of Thieves.
In color.
It's everything you love about Aladdin.
Oh, look, it's a Kodiak moment.
Including Robin Williams as the world's most outrageous genie.
Thank you very much.
Aladdin and the King of Thieves, plus a special salute to Donald Duck. ABC Sunday at 7, 6 Central.
Hello, my beautiful people. By God, that is freaking loud. Wow. Okay. I don't know who had this last, but they really can't hear. But anyway, guys, welcome back to another episode of the happiest cast on earth. And it is the fourth and final week of the wonderful month of Disney. Yay. Ooh. I'm your host, as always, Ryan Johnson. Joining me once again is Trey Wilson.
Hey, how's it going?
And as I mentioned before, this is the fourth and final week of the wonderful month of Disney, where we devote the entire month of January to talk about individual episodes of the Walt Disney Anthology series, because I think it's fun. Now, Trey, given how this is your first time this month, are you at all familiar with the Disney Anthology series?
I'm actually not, no.
Alright, so for a little TLDR for our listeners who don't know, the Disney Anthology series was created in 1954 by Walt Disney himself under the title Disneyland to raise money for Disneyland. However, the program did so well that it basically became way more than just a way to make money for the theme park, and because the show pretty much is still going on to this very day. Yeah. And what the show showcases is a mix of behind-the-scenes featurette of what's going on at the company, replaying classic shorts or Disney movies, and making original pieces of content. And it's still going on to this very day. It's on like season 73 on ABC.
Lord. And
it's still doing all three of those things to this very day, with a strong emphasis on what you can find on Disney+. So this month we have taken a look at a variety of different things that have aired as a part of the show. At the very beginning of the month, we've looked at Coco, which aired as part of the show, I believe, in late into the show's run, like 72 or something like that.
Really? I didn't know that was a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Love Coco.
Yeah. Yes, they air a lot of Disney movies, like pre-existing Disney movies. Last week, we took a look at one of the older pieces of Disney media in terms of like this show by looking at an original piece of content created for the program, the first part of the saga of Andy Burnett. And in between was probably my personal favorite, because a lot of the times they will license out movies from other studios to air as a part of the program. And so the second week of the month, we looked at Over the Hedge, the DreamWorks movie.
Oh, I love that movie.
Yeah, I mean, it technically aired as a Disney program on like their show, so
I mean, hey, it counts.
It counts, you know?
Yeah.
And just because this is the last week of the theme month doesn't mean that we're never going to talk about this type of programming ever again, because, well, I still do have each individual 73 seasons in the Wheel of Names on rotation. So we could get like an episode from the show like specifically like within the next month for all we know. Plus, I do want to continue this next year. Probably won't be on the air, it'll probably just be a normal podcast, but regardless, I want to continue doing this. It's fun and silly, and I love explaining this show that I swear to God I'm the only person my age who has heard of, even though it's still going on.
Yeah, no, I've never heard of it, but honestly, I might have to give it a try.
Yeah, like in terms of like original programming, I'm pretty sure I've said this like every week. Like that's where like stuff like Davy Crockett came from, The Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella. That's like one of the big ones. The Muppets Celebrate Jim Henson. Like just to name a few. Like those are some of the bigger ones that like I can think of that were like originally made like for the show. On top of like several like promotional things they've done for like the parks or like what's going on at the studio, like some of the, like one of the more bigger like original pieces of content in terms of like promotional stuff that they've done recently has been like was the 100th anniversary celebration.
Ooh, I did know about that.
It wasn't much. There wasn't really any original content. It was mainly just like the network debut of Encanto, along with like the world premiere of Once Upon a Studio. So it's pretty much all it was.
Okay.
But we're not here to talk about either of those. We are actually here to talk about the direct-to-video sequel, Aladdin and the King of Thieves, which aired as a part of the show back in 1998, I believe, in season 42. Now, that season, I actually looked at some of the other episodes. One of them was like the Flipper movie, so that's... we easily could have been talking about that one as well, but... Hey, you know, Aladdin and the King of Thieves will still be an interesting thing to talk about. So, Trey, what's your connection with this film and, like, the Aladdin franchise as a whole?
Well, with this just straight movie here, I'll be honest, I didn't know it existed.
Really?
I really didn't. I hadn't heard of it. I love Aladdin in general. I'll tell you, I watched the live action one in theaters.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure everyone did, and only about a third of them liked it.
Yeah, I don't hate it, but
the live action remakes has its qualities. Like I thought Will Smith was pretty good, but like,
he was.
Yeah, like, but a lot of what was in the film just kind of didn't work for me.
Yeah, but I'll be honest, no one will ever beat Robin Williams.
Yeah, like even Will Smith knew that. Like even when he was offered the job, he said, and I quote, "Hell no." But yeah, like, what about any of like the other like expanded media for Aladdin, like the other sequel in the TV show?
I had watched those when I would watch those when I was younger. I hadn't watched them in a while though.
That's fair. I mean, I'm kind of in a similar boat to you because like I remember watching the original movie a lot as a kid. I mean, it's like one of the great Disney films ever made, in my opinion.
Agreed.
It ended up pioneering a lot of things that pretty much everybody has done wrong since then. Like the big one I can think of is getting a big comedian to like play the comic relief sidekick and just have them ramble off and say a bunch of funny stuff that the filmmakers don't really find funny, but they think it's funny.
Yeah.
But like what made Robin Williams as the genie worked is that he specialized in improv, and the genie can do literally anything.
He's literally perfect for the role.
Yeah. So, but yeah, the first Aladdin is really great. I've actually never seen the sequels, oddly enough, because like growing up and being raised on the internet, I've kind of just been told that the Disney sequels, like the direct-to-video sequels, suck.
Yeah.
Like they are not good, like at all. And the only ones I've really seen up to that point were the ones that my grandma had on DVD, like the Cinderella sequels, Jungle Book 2, Return to Neverland, and Get Fox and the Hound 2.
Oh, I don't even remember that one.
It was like, it's a midquel, and it's like takes place in between like the events of the first movie, and like Todd and Hopper, like they join a band. They join a band of singing dogs. That's the movie. It's like zero conflict, really, especially because of what we know comes next in the timeline.
Yeah.
Because it's not like Bambi where there was like a gap, but like a gap that needed filled. Nobody needed to fill the time gap in the Fox and the Hound.
No. I think the Fox and the Hound was perfect.
Yeah, like I haven't seen that movie in a while, but I've heard mixed things because like everybody worked on that at some point.
Yeah.
Because Disney just hired like a bunch of new animators, and pretty much everybody who worked on that movie became a director later on. Because there was there was like John Lasseter and Don Bluth, Tim Burton. Those are just the ones I can think of off the top of my head. There were like so many future directors worked on that movie. It's kind of insane. But we're not here to talk about the Fox and the Hound movies. We are here to talk about Aladdin and the King of Thieves. We kind of got off track.
Yeah, sorry.
So, no, that's fine. It's perfectly fine. So, Aladdin and the King of Thieves. This was considered the grand finale to the Aladdin timeline, really, because this was the last piece of like Aladdin media released until the live action remake. It was meant to serve as a cap off to the trilogy, and I guess the TV show as well, because I don't know much about Return of Jafar, but I do know for a fact that it was more of a pilot to the TV show than a sequel to the movie.
Yeah, I watched it once, and I don't remember anything.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I know like about the movie itself. That it's more like a pilot, which for the TV show that isn't on Disney Plus, by the way.
Oh yeah, I was wondering.
Yeah, to my knowledge, it is the only piece of like Aladdin media that is not on Disney Plus. Which is weird.
That is really weird.
Because everything else is on there. Like all the movies are on there, so why not let those show? But anyway, guys, we will be right back with our thoughts on Aladdin and the King of Thieves.
Just like my health teacher said, protection is important, but guns aren't the answer. Mass shootings, especially those in schools, are issues that plague the U.S. Here at WVCU, we recommend to reach out and help those in need, because a gun-free school is a safe and happy school.
You know you're listening to WVCU 97.7 LPFM, Athens, West Virginia.
And now, our feature presentation.
Alrighty, welcome back to the show. I guess I didn't fix the issue. I thought I fixed the technical issue, but here we are. So yeah, I apologize for any of this technical hiccups we got. So yeah, let's talk about Aladdin and the King of Thieves.
All right.
So, this movie, as we said, is meant to be like the grand finale to Aladdin, the whole franchise. That was a pencil right there. And it opens with some really bad looking animation. I just want to get this right out of the way because it was like the very first thing I wrote down. The animation in this movie freaking sucks.
It does.
Like, it's like, I understand this is a direct-to-video sequel, and it's actually the first direct-to-video sequel that we have ever looked at on this show. And I'm kind of glad that it's not one of the more infamous ones like Cinderella 2 or something like that. But I feel like this animation is like worse than the TV show, because like I'm not like the most like I'm not like an animator, but I can tell if something looks bad, and this looks bad.
Yeah. No, I was telling I was looking, because some of the mouth movements, they are not lining up.
I know, and some of the models too. Like, I think the big issue was for me it was with the character design.
Yeah.
Because they're going off with the designs from the movie because they kind of have to at this point in time.
Yeah.
And when they were making the movie, they obviously weren't thinking the fact that they're gonna make like a Saturday morning cartoon or like some really cheap sequels afterwards that are gonna go like straight to VHS.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, they were kind of stuck with the designs they had, and this was before the day where like, oh, you can just change the art style and don't care, because now Disney did that with the new Mickey shorts and like the 7D.
Ooh.
Remember that?
I don't even know.
Yeah, but like Aladdin and Jasmine in particular look so janky. They still look so uncanny, right? Because and meanwhile all all the other characters, like the new characters in particularly, they don't even look like they belong in the same world. Like, they specifically feel like they came out of like a cartoon and not like an animated film, because there is a difference.
Oh, there's a big difference.
Yeah, these boys look like a cartoon.
Yeah.
Especially the 40 Thieves. Like my God, you don't even look like a human.
Especially that one big guy with the almost like brass knuckle kind of hands.
Oh yeah, the villain too.
Yeah, the villain.
Yeah.
Oh, he was terrible.
Yeah, like decent character, but like, God, he did not look good. He did not look good at all. But weirdly enough, like all like the comic reliefs from the first movie, like Abu, Iago, and the genie, and Carpet, like they all looked pretty decent. They all looked like themselves.
Yeah.
Probably because like, again, they were like more simplistic designs compared to everybody else. So I guess it was like easier to translate.
Yeah.
But regardless, it's still not good. Speaking of the genie, that's one thing that this movie is probably the big thing that's noticeable about it, is that it was the return of Robin Williams as the genie.
Which I had to say I did love.
Yeah. So you are aware of the story of Robin Williams and the genie and why he didn't come back for the sequel, right?
Actually, no, I'm not.
So like, basically the big reason like Robin Williams agreed to like do the genie to begin with, because he had like a contract where like, hey, don't promote my presence too much in the marketing and try not to like merchandise the character as much. Apparently he didn't realize this was Disney he was talking to, so they put like the genie front and center on the poster, and they made a bunch of toys about him with them, and he was like, I don't like that, I'm out of here. And so when Disney went around to make the sequel, Return of Jafar, and the TV series, he didn't come back. They instead got Dan Castellaneta to replace him, who is best known for voicing Homer Simpson, and he kind of just sounds like if Homer Simpson had a sinus infection rather than Robin Williams. But eventually some stuff was settled, and Williams came back to reprise his role as the genie for this film, and he would also do some other movies for Disney during that time period, such as Good Will Hunting and Jack. We all love Jack, right?
Yeah.
Jack is not a terrible movie at all. It's a masterpiece.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
But I will say this about, I don't know if this is like it's a controversial opinion or not at all. Because you said you love the fact that Robin Williams is back, right?
I do. I feel like he's the only person who could actually do the genie.
Yeah, like exactly. Like of course, like the one on Broadway and Will Smith, like they're both doing like two different things, and like
Yeah.
and of course like Dan Castellaneta is just like trying to be Robin Williams, and that's why, in my opinion, he's the worst genie. But anyways,
Oh yeah.
I think they were a little too happy to get Robin Williams back, because he does a lot of bits in this.
He does.
One could say that it's a bit too much.
Yeah.
And like in particular, the pop culture references go, there's a lot more. And not even that, there's a lot more Disney references than there were in the first movie.
There really was. There was more than I was expecting.
Like, it opens with him as Tinkerbell.
I was gonna.
And like moving forward, he's like okay, because like I wrote down like some of like the most notable like Disney like references he does.
Yeah.
Like for instance, like he shows up pictures of like Ariel and Minnie Mouse and Jessica Rabbit.
Yeah.
Which it's funny they threw in Jessica Rabbit because they had to pay Spielberg to use Jessica Rabbit. So amazing how they wanted to do that. Hope you enjoyed that epic page turning action we had right there.
Epic.
Yeah, he puts Jasmine in the outfits of Cinderella and Snow White. he turns into Pumbaa at one point. He's dressed as Sorcerer Mickey in another scene. And
Yeah. Pretty sure that was a music scene.
yeah, it was like during one of them songs, and like the movie, like the movie ends almost like one of the final scenes in the film is him like coming out of like the giant turtle. We'll get to that in a minute. Like in the Steamboat Willie boat.
Yeah.
And there were even like 2 references that became Disney synergy later on, where he's like interviewing all like these Greek figures and like, oh, here's Cleopatra and Caesar, and then there's Thor.
I was about to say Thor was there.
Yeah, and yeah, he does, and he turns into Mrs. Doubtfire as well. So that's Robin Williams doing an impression of Robin Williams in this.
Which I gotta say, I loved that. But I think that was probably one of my favorites
Yeah.
just there.
Yeah, that's more of like an in joke. Like, so like I think it's like, I feel like if there was like one or more Disney reference, like just 1 or 2 Disney references, it wouldn't be just fine.
Yeah.
Like I actually didn't mind like the Geronimo joke, where it's like, yeah, it's like the scene where like he's coming out of like the airplane, it's like going Geronimo, and there's a bunch of other leaders, and then he's dressed as like the Disney Pocahontas and goes Pocahontas.
Okay, that was funny.
Yeah, like that. I feel like if that was like that, and like maybe the Steamboat Willie joke, if those were like the only like Disney references, that would be fine, because there was like one little moment of like Disney references in the first movie. You know,
Yeah.
like he's like going through the book, he gets hit by Sebastian, and he's like he's calling like Aladdin a liar, and he turns into Pinocchio, you know? But like, imagine if it was that, but like spread through like every scene with the genie.
I'm pretty sure it was almost any scene that he was in. There was some kind of Disney reference.
Right? But, you know, Robin Williams still gets a great performance, and he's clearly at his A game. He's putting his all into this role. And, you know, it's just great to hear him as the genie again. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So, yeah, let's talk about the plot. Let's talk about the general plot of the movie. It's taking us this long to get into the plot. So, apparently, after 2 movies and a whole TV show, Aladdin and Jasmine haven't gotten married yet.
That's what surprised me.
Yeah. Because especially with, like, the whole thing about the first movie is that Jasmine needs to find a husband.
Yeah.
And that's why Aladdin had to, like, disguise himself as a prince. But, you know, they're finally getting married. You know, somebody's getting married today and all that crap. But, you know, Aladdin is, like, kind of bummed out because neither of his parents can show up. As far as he knows. But, you know, regardless, we get some cool songs out of it. We get a cool little opening song. That's one thing I will say about this movie. I don't think the songs are bad.
Mm-mm.
They're, especially for like a direct-to-video sequel, where they did not need to put as nearly as much effort into these songs. The songs are pretty decent.
Oh yeah.
I think my favorite one has to be the villain song, In or Out.
I do love that
That
one
one
too.
goes so hard, and it's such like a great like. It's definitely probably the most Broadway out of all the songs in this. Like that is a song I can unambiguously see the original songwriting team write, which I did not do enough research beforehand, and I apologize. But I hadn't been like it almost sounds exactly like an Alan Menken song, so it's perfect in my book.
Perfect.
Yeah, so like the wedding happens and they get abducted. It gets ambushed by the 40 thieves. So yes, so you remember in A Friend Like Me where it starts off with Alibaba had them 40 thieves.
I do.
A throwaway line in the original movie is now the consensus of this entire film. It's like.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Disney direct-to-video sequels did it before the Pixar sequels did it. With Finding Dory making a movie out of just one line from the first movie. So, but here's a big old plot twist that the movie wants you to think of the plot twist. Aladdin's dad is the King of Thieves. Because like, this whole thing, you go into the movie knowing that like Aladdin's dad is the King of Thieves, and it constantly wants you to think it's like a surprise, especially when like you see the King of Thieves and you see the silhouette of like Aladdin's dad, and like these two look oddly familiar. I want to know who they are. You want?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like after like their wedding gets ruined by the thieves, like what the thieves were trying to find was an oracle. There was an oracle like in the palace, and they used the oracle. They want to use the oracle to find like the hand of Midas. And so Aladdin uses the oracle to find out what happened to his father, because he thinks his father is dead. His father is not dead. He is the King of Thieves. And we'll figure out what his not dead dad ends up doing right after this break. So please stay tuned for that.
Host of student-run shows on Concord University Radio 97.7 FM. You can listen at almost any time and be guaranteed to enjoy. Listen anywhere by using the free WVCU app. And be sure to follow WVCU on social media to stay tuned on and off the air.
Okay, welcome back to the show. So, at this point, Aladdin takes his wonderful little carpet along with Abu and Iago, and at this point, he meets the 40 thieves, and he thinks that his dad is being held captive by the 40 thieves, but he didn't realize that his dad is the king of the 40 thieves, and he actually knocks out this villain guy, and we think he's dead, but like he's not.
No.
And the 40 thieves actually sing a song like welcoming him in, but Aladdin's like, I don't do that no mo. I ain't no street rat. I'm a prince. Now come to my wedding, boy, daddy. Come to my wedding and watch your boy get married.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm going to lie. We're going to lie to my fiance and future father-in-law and my genie best friend that you were kidnapped by the 40 thieves. So like the reason he went to the 40 thieves to begin with is because like they were very poor. They were very, very poor.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so he ended up trying to look for the hand of Midas to like give his family a good life. So he kept searching and searching and searching, and he just couldn't find it. And I guess he just gave up one day, and he went back home. His wife is dead, and Aladdin is gone.
Yeah.
So, sorry, Dad. I guess you became a deadbeat by accident.
Darn.
One thing that I will say about like Aladdin's dad and their like whole arc, I've seen this trope done better, of like the deadbeat / out of touch dad coming back into the son's life, and they try to rekindle their relationship.
Yeah.
I feel like anybody who abandons their family sucks.
Oh yeah.
If like, regardless of the reason, you suck. Like, I mean, he kinda has like a good reason, and like he does like get a little bit of a redemption arc.
Oh yeah. He
Yeah.
definitely got some bit of a redemption
Yeah,
at the end.
but like, still, just like in normal situations, like if your parent leaves you, you don't owe that parent anything, because like they don't care enough about you to like want to be in your life. Because like you know, after like Aladdin learns the truth, and like pretty much he wants like nothing to do with his dad. Like he tries to give him a second chance, and he tries to get the oracle, which I just want to point out, he does not need to like steal it.
Yeah.
Like your son is the prince almost. Can't you just say, son, I really want to find the hand of Midas. Can I use that oracle of yours to figure out where it is before the 40 thieves get it?
Seriously, like he could have just done that.
Yeah, but I guess Iago talked him into it or something like that. But like even then, I don't think Iago talked him into like stealing it, just using it. Because at
Yeah.
this point, like Iago's a good guy now.
Morally questionable.
Yeah,
still.
because like he's not like evil right now. He was just kind of a funny guy.
He's like the villain that gets turned into like some side character.
Yeah, because that's like, yeah, because like he had like a redemption arc in Return of Jafar, and he became like a recurring side character through the TV show. And you know, at the end of the movie, he actually joins the side of Daddy Aladdin. And so like, you know, he's actually, yeah, like he's caught through like this guard who has the most Jim Cummings voice that Jim Cummings has ever Jim Cummings in his life. And like it's so like obvious just how much of a Jim Cummings voice that is.
It really is.
like I didn't even have to tell you that was Jim Cummings, and you could tell that's Jim Cummings.
as soon as I was watching, I was like, I heard that guy's voice. I was like, Jim Cummings?
He sounds like Pete.
He does.
He's just doing Pete. That's just doing the Pete voice. So a few things to point out. I just want to point out. And when they realize that that the King of Thieves is there, the genie turns into an army of bagpipe players, a cowboy, an entire army, Pocahontas, as I mentioned earlier, and ICE agents. Okay, they're not actually ICE agents. It's a SWAT team. It's a SWAT team, but like I feel like knowing like with watching this in modern context is like, oh God, they're gonna take Aladdin. Run, Aladdin, run, please.
Run, boy, run!
Genie, oh, Genie believes in blue supremacy.
No. I still think the scene where he's just turning into a whole bunch of security is the funniest, though.
Yeah, it's a very funny gag, and that's where I think like the freaking Pocahontas would be like the only good Disney joke in the movie.
Agreed.
It would be funnier if that was like the only Disney joke. But yeah, that's a funny bit. Aladdin breaks his dad out of prison, but you know, he doesn't need to do that either.
No.
He's the prince. He can he just request to like pardon his dad or something like that? I mean, I don't know, like the ancient Arabian rules or something like that.
True.
But like he can do that. He's not by law, but he's still the prince essentially.
Yeah.
Like they get married. Can you let my dad go? I don't want to see him again, but can you get him out of prison?
Yeah, just send him out his way.
Yeah. But they break him out anyways, and like instead of like Aladdin getting like executed or anything, he just has a firm scolding by the Sultan. He's like, I would have expected better from you, Aladdin. And Jim Cummings like, yeah, you stupid poopy head. And Aladdin is like, I'm Steve from Full House, and my dad sucks. And Jasmine's just like, Aladdin, your dad does suck, but he's your dad. And Aladdin's like, my dad sucks. And Genie's like, oh, hello, I'm Robin Williams, and I'm going to make a pop culture reference. Oh, I'm back in. Who's the leader of the club that's made for you and me? It's Genie! Yeah, that's the whole scene. And
Yeah.
so at this point, the bad guy comes back to life and convinces the remaining 40 thieves that Daddy Aladdin is against them. And so the rest of the 40 thieves capture him and Iago, and they force him to like use the oracle to tell them where the Hand of Midas is. I don't know why they need to force him to do that, but they can just do it just as easily.
Yeah.
But Yeah, the Oracle tells him where it is. Iago's able to escape because he's a bird. And it's funny that like they feel the need to like treat this bird like it's a person because it can talk.
That is.
Like, so like Iago makes it back to the palace and tells Aladdin everything, and him, Jasmine, the genie, and Carpet all head on out to this giant turtle that holds like this city. It's the Vanish Isle on the back of a turtle.
Yeah.
Eat your heart out, Stephen King. So they're able to. So there's this big battle. Jasmine finally does something in this movie and throws a punch. The genie does some funny things. He turns into Ozzie Nelson for some reason. One of the only. Yeah, he turns into Rambo too with lasers because why not? Yeah, I didn't mention this earlier, but like early in the movie, he turned into Forrest Gump.
He did.
And friggin', God, what was the other person he turned into? Like he turned into Elvis.
I was gonna say, yeah, he turned into Elvis at some point.
Yeah, he turned into Elvis, and I'm looking at my notes right now. He turned into something stupid. He turned into something really stupid. He turned into Bing Crosby and Bob Hope.
Oh yeah.
That was funny. It was decent. And I thought that was like something like really dumb that like wasn't like a Disney reference, but like something really dumb that he turned into. But I guess
there's gotta be something.
I guess that was everything. I don't know.
There's probably more that we haven't even seen yet, though.
Probably something like that. So, anyways, Aladdin and his dad, they find the hand. It for some reason has a handle, and so because like if you touch the hand, you turn to gold.
Yeah.
So they touch the handle instead, and the bad guy arrives. But like before that happens, like the dad like turns everything around him to gold, including the water. It looks like pee.
It did.
It looked
It
exactly
really
like
did.
pee, and like the moments where like the water was like bursting through the walls because it was made of gold.
Yeah.
Like it looked exactly like pee. It was like, why did they do that? Did they do that on purpose? I doubt that like with adults making this, nobody thought this kind of looks like pee.
Probably not. No.
I don't know. But, you know, the bad guy shows up, and Aladdin's dad is like, hey, you want the hand? You can take it. And this freaking idiot grabs the hand. Not by the handle, but, like, by the hand. And he turns into gold. He turns into a golden statue and dies. And, you know, this is the part that kind of, I don't know, melts my snow, if you will. So Aladdin and his dad make it out alive. They got the treasure. And his dad is just like, I don't want this. And he yeets it into the ocean.
Yeah.
The whole reason you were in this mess to begin with
Is because of the freaking hand.
Yeah, and you don't even want the freaking treasure to begin with. Just keep it in the palace. It will look cool for decoration. You can live in there for God's sake.
Yeah.
Like,
if
you
someone
can
touches it.
You can buy your way out of like being a thief because everything you touch, you put that hand on, will turn to gold. But like, instead he's like, I don't need this. I have my son again. Yeet. So thank you. You just wasted the last 40 minutes of the movie.
And the thing is, by throwing that, let's hope the hand didn't actually hit the bottom of the ocean, and it was the handle.
Yeah. So yeah, they have the wedding. Iago goes with the dad because he's still an outlaw.
Yeah.
And to further prove that this is the end of the franchise, we end with a reprise of Arabian Nights, and we see the seller again. Who have we seen him and the genie in the same room together? No, we haven't. They are the same guy.
They're the same guy.
I'm pretty sure the remake even confirmed it. They're the same guy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It so has to have.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, Aladdin and the King of Thieves. So final verdict, Trey. On a scale of 1 to 5, how would you rate Aladdin and the King of Thieves? With 1 being a big old Pooh Bear, and 5 being a grand spanking castle of Agrabah.
I'd have to say I'd give it a 2.5.
Hmm.
It's not the worst thing in the world that I've seen. Definitely has some good qualities. But there's also things about it that I wouldn't personally want to watch it unless it was like just there. If it's just there.
That's fair. Yeah. I'd kind of have to agree with you. I would go a little bit higher for me because I do really like a lot of stuff in this film.
Oh, yeah.
I'd give it like a solid 3.
Okay.
But like, yeah, a lot of it worked for me, but there were still some things like the animation and the relationship between Aladdin and his father that really don't make this thing like an all-time classic for me. I probably won't watch it again, but am I glad I watched it? Sure.
Oh yeah, it's something now that I can check off my list.
Yeah. But anyways, that'll be it for this week's episode. Trey, thank you so much for coming back onto the show. Do you have anything you'd like to plug?
Well, I'm gonna hopefully I'm working on getting my apartment done. Follow Showbiz Trey on Twitch and YouTube.
Alrighty, and you can also follow me on YouTube at Mr. Johnson and Weird TV and the Happiest Cast on Earth. Please subscribe to that YouTube channel of the show and subscribe to the show on Spotify. And thank you so much for joining us for the Happiest Cast on Earth's the month for the happiest for the wonderful month of Disney. And yes, we will continue doing the show next week. So please stay tuned for next week where we will be taking a look at the 2018 live-action remake, Christopher Robin. Yes, our very first live-action remake. God help us. Thankfully, it's one of the good ones. But anyway, guys, until then, I will see you later. Bye!